so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. And today we're going to talk about the mass exodus of realtors leaving real estate. And as a true industry professional, I could tell you that if you're a realtor or if you're an agent, you most certainly feel the recession and even unemployment right now. But the thing is if you're a true professional in real estate, you have to admit that the industry in total, we basically need it to be purged of bad realtors. And really everyone knows that, you guys. The problem is you can't have bad realtors involved in a transaction where it's the most important, most expensive financial transaction of someone's life. And the reality is society needs great realtors. Great realtors can caution and could warn consumers. And not only that, great realtors can teach consumers how to find great deals. But unfortunately, most realtors right now are just cheerleaders saying whatever they need to say to have someone buy or sell a house. And it's a really huge problem. So personally, I'm happy that there's a mass exodus right now of realtors. And today we're going to look at all of those stats as well as an article that goes into what great realtors should be doing right now in order to help consumers. And there is a lot of things changing right now. There's a lot of lawsuits. There's companies going bankrupt. There's a lot happening right before our eyes. Don't forget, I am not a financial advisor, even though my bio is as a realtor. So I have a right to talk some trash, just a little bit of trash, because I want realtors to step up and be great realtors. I'm also a loan officer of over 20 years. I've probably helped over 1,000 consumers get a home loan. I'm also a CE instructor, so I enjoy empowering people, especially realtors. So I want realtors to step up. And if you guys can, for my efforts, please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And please do not forget, shoot us a comment below. You have no idea how many people read your comments, especially if you have comments that are empowering, that have great insights. I want to thank each and every one of you. And I want to make clear this: I appreciate great realtors and I respect them, and I believe that they're worth their weight in gold. What I'm saying is most realtors, like a super high percentage, are a complete waste of time and really need to leave the industry because their insecurities and their desperation to make money are hurting consumers. And I hope you guys understand that's what I'm saying. So to start this video off, I just wanted to let you guys know that there are multiple real estate companies right now that are settling massive commission lawsuits as a result of basically dishonest business practices. I mean, it runs rampant in the industry. That's what I've been telling you guys for the last year and a half. Now you can see here that Remax just settled their commission lawsuit for $55 million. But not only that, let me show you guys how desperate some of these companies are getting. Embattled MV Realty files for bankruptcy amid flood of lawsuits. And when I read this, you guys are going to be blown away by the dishonesty of some of these realtors and the companies that they work for. I like how this article starts off. No one can predict the future of real estate, but you can prepare. And that's exactly right. Each and every one of us has the ability to prepare for a downturn in the economy. But let me read a couple snippets of this. Scandal-scarred MV Realty has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy as the Florida-based real estate firm faces lawsuits from multiple states over its allegedly deceptive business practices. And y'all, listen to what they were doing. This is like really mind-blowing to me. I didn't even know they could do this. The company has come under scrutiny for its 40-year contracts. Again, a 40-year contract. Who do these people think they are? In which it paid homeowners as little as $300 for exclusive rights to act as a listing agent for their home should they ever decide to sell. The contracts are typically offered to homeowners in need of fast cash. So real quick, just to break this down, this realty company would pay people $300 to sign a listing agreement with them that lasted for 40 years. 40 years, you guys. And these agents make stupid amounts of money and they're trying to trap people in to these contracts. Under the controversial contracts, MV Realty would receive a payout if the company sold the property or the homeowner canceled the agreement, or if the ownership of the house changed in any way, such as through a deed of transfer, foreclosure, or death of the owner. Oh my gosh. The contracts allegedly also allowed the company to obtain a lien on the house without the knowledge of the consumer. So they also filed a lien on the house. I mean, how is this going on? Couple more paragraphs and we'll move on. MV Realty has thus far been sued by North Carolina, Florida, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and Ohio, and others for its allegedly deceptive and unfair business practices. And holy smokes, I mean, comment below if you don't think that that's super deceptive. I mean, a 40-year contract and they're filing liens? Holy moly. Deliberately tricking people to make money off of their home ownership is a shameful business model. If it's truly a good deal, all the details would be clearly explained in writing, just like those sub 2 deals. And this wasn't a small brokerage. This was a brokerage that operated in 33 states and had over 500 agents and helped 30,000 homeowners across the nation. And 30,000 of those homeowners signed that agreement. And again, it only paid $300 to $5,000 for the exclusive right to list their homes. I mean, it's easy to understand why the entire industry needs to be re-regulated, right? We can't trust agents to do the right thing. Unfortunately, there's just too much money involved for most people to do the right thing. And even if they wanted to do the right thing, the fact that being a realtor is commission based, a lot of people can't afford to be honest, and they can't afford to do the right thing. Now I want to show you guys some stats on how many realtors are currently in the industry and how many have recently left. And I want to show you guys that realistically, this exodus of realtors could last for 3 to 5 years. And so when we look here at this article titled Realtor Boom Ends as Housing Market Slumps, we can see from this chart just how many realtors there are right now. But really what I want to do is I want to point out where we were at within the Great Financial Collapse, which is right here, this run up right here. So you can see that realtors rush into the industry when things are easy, and when things get hard, they pour out of the industry. This happens all the time. But I wanted to point out since about 2013, 2014, it's just been going straight up. And now it's been going down. But again, when we peaked here in the Great Financial Crisis, we had about a little less than 1.4 million realtors. Now, this declined for 5 years, dropping 35% to roughly 900,000 agents. So I'm just saying that because more than likely something similar is going to happen right now. As more and more people start waking up to the fact that the housing market is going to be tore up and wrecked for years, we're going to start seeing this plunge. And I think that we're going to start seeing this plunge by like hundreds of thousands of realtors, because there's way too many realtors right now. I mean, that's a fact. And let me read a few of these bullet points. Tens of thousands of real estate agents are giving up on their profession, thinning their pandemic era ranks as the housing market comes back to earth. Why it matters. Realtors are on the ground floor of the real estate market, making them well positioned to notice when it's cooling off, thus providing less opportunity to cash in. The thing is even though they're well positioned to know when things are cooling off, the problem is they're not honest about it cooling off. They're few and far between, and it drives me crazy. It's all over the place on YouTube. And normally I wouldn't, mind, but they're lead generators. Almost every single realtor on YouTube that's saying there is no crash, just buy now, Crash Bros this, Crash Bros that, is saying that because their livelihood is generated off of YouTube lead generation. That's a fact. More than 60,000 realtors have exited the sector over the last 6 months, according to data from the National Association of Realtors. And it's probably going to be a lot more now that interest rates are close to 8%. The big picture: Americans embraced home selling jobs as soon as the pandemic began, powered by soaring prices and sales. Historically, anytime home prices really go up, realtors flood into the market. Lots of people view it as a way to make money and often a quick buck off the housing boom. And that's actually from Nick from Reventure Consulting. So they're actually really impressed that they're referencing him quite a bit. Now, here's the real issue, guys. Sales of existing single family homes fell 42% from their peak of 6.6 million in January of 2021 to about 3.85 million in April of 2023. It's possible that we end this year with less than 4 million homes sold, which would take us back to the Great Financial Collapse. Now, one of the reasons why I think there's going to be so many more realtors leave the industry is because there's so many more agents in the market. The number of real estate agents is still near its historical high, and the housing market has remained resilient despite falling sales and prices in certain markets. And that's just not true. The housing market has not proven resilient. Prices have been stubborn, but the housing market is completely wrecked. The bottom line is as the housing market booms, so does the real estate professionals, and the reverse is also true. Honestly, guys, it needs to happen. We need to purge the industry of bad realtors. And the thing is I understand, like, I still have empathy, right? I still have empathy because I'm around these people. I look at them in the eye, and a lot of these people are good people. But again, the problem is it's just the competition is just so brutal. The responsibility is so brutal, and it's a commission only job. So again, a lot of people, the day one that they start their career in real estate, they have literally no guidance and no income. So, I do have empathy. And what I want to talk about is whether you're a consumer or a realtor, let's talk about a few things that great realtors should be doing right now in order to survive this downturn. And here's some snippets from Active Rain. Whether an agent has only recently become licensed or they've been in the field for years, here's what it means if you see them working through a tough market rather than leave the business. So again, cream rises to the top. I think the purge is just going to bring and highlight the great agents. Now they're going to talk about three things. The first thing is they're not just in it for the money, although the money is very important, right? Now the second thing is they're dedicated to helping people through difficult times. And that is so huge. There are so many realtors that forgot the human element of customer service because of the last 3 years. The last 3 years, homes sold itself. And as we go into the more challenging times, realtors are going to have to learn to love people again and really support people through the difficult times. Part of that is by giving people data and teaching them how to read the data. Now, the third thing is they're determined to succeed. And that is absolutely right. There's so many headwinds and cross currents for realtors. The only way to succeed is you got to have grit. You got to push yourself. You have to stay motivated. You got to be the first person up, the last person to leave. And the most important thing is you have to figure out how to give consumers overwhelming value. And generally, the only thing you have to do if you're a realtor is to be honest and forthcoming. And then after that, it's all simple math. Use the data. Show people how to find a great deal. If you're a consumer watching this, let me read a few of the things that a realtor, a great realtor, should be doing for you. Now, the first thing is, and this is a huge problem, is market knowledge. There's a huge gap of realtors that have true market knowledge. And there's another gap that just say what their broker tells them to say. Now, the second thing is pricing expertise. A good agent is going to be able to tell you whether or not a house that you want to make an offer on has wedge and cash flow. Really important is number 3, negotiation skills. For example, like I've mentioned to you, every single house that I have purchased, I've had the seller pay all the closing costs. And I would say probably of the 1,000 buyers that I've helped, probably, I would guess 50% had some or all of the closing costs paid from the seller. So negotiation skills are very important. Access to networks is, I guess that's important, but that's pretty much MLS is really the important thing there. Number 5, streamline the process. That's important. Obviously, you got to make sure you're filling out the paperwork. Now, number 6 is really a big part of the job. This is for a loan officer and for a realtor, which is the emotional support. One of the difficult things about being a loan officer for so long and being a realtor is the emotional support. A lot of people, treat professionals like a punching bag. I'm not joking. It should be a professional transaction, but it's not. And in there lies a problem that I see happen all the time in the industry, which is mental health. I would say more than half of the agents, whether loan officers or realtors, have mental health struggles because, the reality is it's a vicious cycle. They're underappreciated. Half of them are corrupt. They're breaking their morals. They're breaking their integrity. And it's really not a fulfilling job. In conclusion, I want to say this once again, realtors are incredibly important to our community and to society, especially when it comes to accessing MLS multiple listing service and providing the comp data, the sold home data to the community. The community needs to understand what's going on in the housing market. And quite frankly, the industry has completely failed. So it's really important if you're an agent, you're watching this, again, just step up, be honest, and use the data to help people. Because the reality is probably for the next 3 to 4 years, the housing market is going to be completely in the garbage and most realtors are going to quit. And honestly, you guys, that's not necessarily a bad thing because we want great realtors. We don't want someone's cousin working a transaction. Now, other than that, I really hope this video gave you additional insights, perspective, and value. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.